Let's get one thing straight: when everything hits the fan, gold ain't gonna mean jack. Nobody's trading a can of fuel for your little coin collection. You know what actually moves the needle when chaos hits? Items people need to survive, stuff that keeps them breathing, fed, and warm while the rest of the world's in free fall. And here's the hard truth: those items, they vanish fast. Doesn't matter if you've got cash, crypto, or grandma's gold chain. If you don't already have these in your hands before the collapse, you're just another desperate face in the crowd. So do this now: smash that subscribe button. Not for clout, not for likes, but because nobody else is breaking this down the way it needs to be said. You're either ahead of the curve or you're crushed by it. There's no middle ground anymore. These 10 items aren't nice to have. They're survival currency. They're leveraged. They're the only things that'll matter when everything else burns down. You're here because you're not waiting for help. You're here to be the one who already has what everyone else will beg for. Number 1, eye drops, lubricating and medicinal. Here's something that barely crosses anyone's mind until your eyes are burning, swollen, or bone dry in the middle of a blackout, a dust storm, or smoke-filled air. Eye drops. Simple, boring, cheap little bottles that sit forgotten in a drawer. But when clean air vanishes and hygiene collapses, these things shoot up in value like oxygen. Dry eyes from staring at candlelight or open flames, allergies triggered by dust, or eye infections from rubbing grit into your eyes with dirty hands, these are real survival issues. And most people don't have a clue how fast it hits. And it's not just comfort we're talking about here. In a crisis, your eyesight is everything. You need clear vision to shoot, read, move, repair, search. Blurred vision, grit under your eyelid, that's a liability that could shut you down completely. Now imagine trading a $2 bottle of eye drops to someone whose eyes are so irritated they can't sleep. That's not just a bartered's power. Especially medicated or antihistamine drops, the kind that treat infections or allergic reactions. You show up with that when someone's got conjunctivitis and no clinic open, you're a legend. Even the simple lubricating ones become gold in cold weather, smoky areas, or dry indoor shelters. Your prep move? Grab at least 3 sealed bottle STWO standard lubricants, 1 antihistamine-based and 1 antibiotic, if you can score it, even OTC vet grade. Store them in a cool, dark place and rotate yearly. Bonus points if you stash a mini bottle in your bug-out kit. It takes no space, but could mean everything in a gritty, dry survival mess. And when everyone's reaching for water just to rinse their eyes, and you pull out a sterile bottle with a precision dropper, you're not just surviving, you're operating. In the barter world, vision is valuable. And eye drops? That's a sight in a bottle. Number 2, elastic bands, thick and thin. You want to talk about overlooked genius? Let's talk about elastic bands. Yep, those boring little loops in your kitchen drawer or tangled around a bag of rice. When SHTF, those stretchy bands become one of the most versatile tools you didn't realize you had. They're not just for holding things together. In a survival situation, they become gear savers, trap triggers, fire starting assist, makeshift weapon components, even medical hacks. Do you bust a strap on your bag or need to seal off a container fast? Elastic bands. You're trying to secure a splint or stabilize a flashlight to a barrel or broomstick. Elastic bands. Do you need to rig up a snare or hold a tarp flap in place during wind? Elastic. These things become the duct tape of tensiono noise, no bulk, and endlessly reusable if you don't snap them. And the barter potential? Ridiculous. Because while everyone's out hoarding big-ticket stuff, you show up with a Ziploc full of heavy-duty thick bands and surgical-grade thin ones. Suddenly, you're the guy who can fix, strap, seal, and improvise anything on the fly. That's the value. Pro preppers know. Mobility equals survival, and elastic bands keep your gear tight, your tools silent, and your kit modular. Your prep move? Gather a mix-wide rubber ones from produce or mail, thin ones from office supply packs, and thick industrial ones if you can find them. Store them flat, dry, and rotated every 2-3 years because they degrade over time. And if you've got latex-free versions, even better, safer for trade. Toss some in your EDC pouch, wrap a few around your gear handles, and keep a baggie of them in your bug-out kit. Trust me when you need to lash something, seal something, or rig something and you don't want to waste duct tape or cordage. Those little rubber loops are going to feel like currency. Quiet, compact, functional. And when the world's falling apart, the guy who can hold things together, he wins. Number 3, shower curtains, plastic liners. You see that cheap plastic shower curtain hanging in your bathroom? Yeah, that thin, crinkly thing nobody ever thinks about when society collapses. That becomes one of the most valuable sheets of material you own. Why? Because plastic barriers are survival gold. That liner is waterproof, wind-resistant, transparent if needed, and ridiculously versatile. Need to build a quick shelter from rain, snow, or wind? You've got a tarp. Need to keep heat in a room or block drafts in winter? You've got insulation. Got a leaky ceiling, busted window, or need a clean ground cover for sleeping, prepping food, or treating a wound? Boom shower curtain. And here's what most people don't realize. During panic buying, people run for food and water first. Then they hit cleaning supplies. But nobody touches the bathroom aisle until it's already too late. That's when you'll see folks ripping liners off their own showers, trying to cover broken glass or separate sick family members. These curtains make excellent improvised quarantine dividers, 2 hospital-grade plastic without the hospital. Need to transport gear in the rain? Wrap it. Need to collect rainwater? Funnel it. Need to make a solar still or reflect heat? It does that too. And in a trade situation, a clean folded liner is like handing someone an entire survival toolkit. Your prep move? Stock 3 to 4 extra liner sheep ones from the dollar store are fine, but if you can grab thick, mildew-resistant ones, even better. Keep them rolled, dry, and store them flat. Toss one in your car trunk and bug-out bag. Pair it with duct tape and some paracord, and suddenly you've got the power to seal windows, make walls, trap heat, and shield anything. It's lightweight, flexible, and folds flat, which makes it ideal for barter. In a world where people are stapling trash bags to their windows, a clean, clear shower curtain is like bringing tech to the Stone Age. It's not glamorous, but it's priceless when you need shelter, fast, and supplies are gone. And the best part? Almost everyone already has one, they just don't know it's a weapon yet. Number 4. Pill splitters. Here's the tiny tool sitting in your medicine cabinet that almost no one talks about until you're rationing meds and praying every dose counts. Pill splitters. That little plastic gadget with a blade in the middle? When SHTF, it becomes precision survival gear. Why? Because medications won't be restocked. Pharmacies will be empty. Refills? Forget it. And when your supply is all you've got, you need to stretch it without screwing up dosages. Eyeballing a pill cut with a knife? Dangerous. Uneven halves mean too much today, not enough tomorrow. But a pill splitter gives you control, and control in a collapse is power. Whether it's blood pressure meds, antibiotics, or even painkillers, being able to split, quarter, or accurately means life or death. And not just for you. Think about trade. Somebody needs a week's worth of a drug they're desperate for? You break exact doses, make clean trades, no waste. That's surgical level value. Plus, splitters aren't just for rationing. They're for families. Different body sizes mean different needs. A child can't take an adult dose, and if you're working with what you've stockpiled, you don't want to risk overdosing anyone. These things also become mental comfort for people who still need to manage chronic illness during chaos. Being able to continue their regimen even scaled back can keep panic from taking over. The crazy part? These tools are dirt cheap right now, less than $5 in most places. Yet when the shelves empty, they'll be one of the first things gone that no one even thought about. Because once the reality hits, no clinics, no refills, no second chances, people get desperate. And desperation makes small tools like this more valuable than gold. Your prep move? Buy 3-5 of them. Keep one in your main med kit, one in your barter box, and a backup in your bug-out bag. Test them on your actual pills so you know which ones split clean and which don't. Keep alcohol wipes handy to sanitize the blade if you're dealing with multiple people. And when others are trying to crack tablets in half with a rock, you'll be the one with precision, trade leverage, and real control. Number 5. Vacuum sealer bags. Even without the sealer. People hear vacuum sealer and instantly picture food storage, but here's the truth: when SHTF, it's the bags that become the real currency, even if you don't own the machine. Those heavy-duty, airtight plastic sleeves are way more than just food preservation. They're a prepper's version of armored packaging. You've got gear you want protected from water, dirt, bugs, or rot? Slide it in, roll it tight, seal it with heat, even a candle if needed, and boom, it's sealed for the long haul. Cash, ammo, socks, batteries, fire-starting kits, maps, matches, meds, anything you can't afford to lose to moisture or exposure goes in one of these. They make your gear waterproof, organized, and trade-ready. Ever seen someone hand over a soggy Ziploc full of ruined meds in a trade? That's not value, that's trash. But a clean vacuum-sealed pouch with labeled contents? That's how you deal like a pro. Even if you don't have a vacuum sealer, most of these bags work just fine with the straw and suck method. Remove the air manually, seal with tape or heat, and you're done. And because they come in multiple sizes, You can custom pack everything from a week's worth of vitamins to a full change of clothes. You know what else? These bags also compress everything, which means you save space in your packs, bug-out bins, and barter kits. And that's critical when every inch matters. When the world's falling apart, organization equals speed. Speed equals safety. That makes these bags more than convenience, they're survival multipliers. Your prep move? Stock multiple size small for medical and fire kits, medium for food, large for clothes or blankets. Keep a stash in every major storage area. Rotate used ones when they wear out, and don't be afraid to reuse the good ones. And in a barter situation, offering gear or food already vacuum-packed is a game changer. It says, "I'm not desperate, I'm prepared." While everyone else is wrapping their trade goods in trash bags and tape, you show up with sealed, labeled, waterproof pouches. That's packaging with power. That's how you turn a cheap bag into something that's worth more than gold. Number 6, plastic measuring cups and spoons. Seems too basic, right? Just some cheap plastic cups and spoons tossed in a drawer. But in a full-blown crisis where food is rationed, medicine is limited, and accuracy can literally save lives, measuring tools become critical. You're not just eyeballing rice and hoping it stretches for 5 days. You're not guessing how much powdered formula to give a baby. You're not over-pouring bleach into water hoping it's the right ratio. This is where those overlooked plastic measuring sets flip from kitchen clutter to survival gold. Because when food becomes currency and water must be purified precisely, you need to portion, mix, and dose without room for error. Improvising with bottle caps or random spoons? That's how you waste supplies or overdose someone. But pull out a labeled tablespoon or a quarter cup and suddenly you've got control, consistency, and trust, especially if you're bartering supplies with others. People want to know they're not getting shorted or poisoned. Measuring spoons offer proof of precision. They're also durable, light, and stackable. In trade scenarios, a complete set clean and labeled is worth its weight in silver. Your prep move? Get 2-3 full sets. One for dry goods, one for liquids, one stashed clean and sealed strictly for barter or medical prep. Choose ones that are clearly marked, preferably embossed or printed with permanent labels so the numbers don't rub off. And here's the overlooked angle measuring cups, also double as scoops, dispensers, and mixing tools in the field. When you don't have bowls or prep space, you can mix water treatment solutions, oral rehydration salts, or even grind and portion animal feed right in these cups. Ever tried making bannock or powdered milk without a clue how much water to add? It turns into waste real quick. But with proper measures, efficiency. In SHTF, every ounce counts. And the guy who can portion supplies, stretch rations, and medicate accurately, he doesn't just survive, he leads. So don't underestimate those dollar store plastic cups and spoons. When chaos hits, they won't just be kitchen tools, they'll be tools of trust, trade, and survival. Number 7, shoe polish with applicator. Yeah, it sounds weird at first, shoe polish in a survival situation, but think beyond shine. Think of protection. That little tin or bottle sitting under your sink is way more than just for looking sharp. When society collapses and you're moving on foot, through mud, snow, ash, or dust, your boots are your lifeline. Keeping them dry, crack-free, and functional becomes top priority. That's where shoe polish, especially the wax-based kind, starts pulling serious weight. It acts as a waterproofing layer, keeping leather from drying out and splitting. Once boots crack, your feet get exposed to cold, wet bacteria, and that's when infections start. In a world with no doctors, trench foot and fungal infections are real threats. But if you've got polish, you're extending the life of your footwear by months. You're sealing those seams. And yes, even morale matters. Clean boots equals clean mindset equals control in chaos. Now picture this. You show up to a barter table, and someone's wearing cracked, dried-out boots. You pull out a tin of polish and a rag, and in 5 minutes you just saved their best gear. What's that worth to someone who doesn't have a second pair? A lot. Your prep move? Stock 3, 5 tins black and neutral. Neutral works on any color. Get ones with built-in applicators or buy a couple of horsehair brushes and cotton rags to go with it. They last forever if sealed right and stored cool. Keep one in your bug-out bag, one in your boot care kit, and one in your barter stash. Bonus points if you've got waterproofing cream or mink oil to pair with it. Combine that with clean socks and foot powder, and you're basically running a mobile boot clinic. Big leverage. And don't forget, this stuff isn't just for boots. It protects gloves, bags, belts, anything, leather, or even some synthetics. When people start losing mobility due to foot pain, blisters, or exposure, the guy with shoe polish suddenly becomes the MVP. In a crisis, comfort isn't luxury, it's longevity. And a small tin of wax could mean the difference between moving forward or breaking down. So yeah, it's not sexy, it's not tactical. But when everything depends on your feet, shoe polish is worth more than gold. Number 8. Clip-on reading lamps, USB or battery-powered. Light is survival, but not just any light. In a crisis, you don't want to light up your entire room like a beacon asking for trouble. You want targeted, controlled, discreet light. That's where these little clip-on reading lamps become gold. They're the underrated kings of blackout living. Whether they're USB rechargeable or run on AAA batteries, these flexible, low-profile lights give you what a giant flashlight or open flame can't: precision without visibility risk. You clip one to a table, a bed frame, your backpack strap, and suddenly you can cook, read, sew, clean a wound, or inspect gear without lighting up the whole area. That matters. A lot. When the grid's down and you're surrounded by darkness, even a small glow can draw eyes. But clip-on lamps? Low lumens, directional focus, no wasted energy. They're perfect for late-night tasks, bug-out shelters, and tight indoor setups. And don't underestimate morale having. The ability to quietly write, organize, or decompress at night without alerting the neighborhood is mental gold. And trade value? Through the roof. Most folks stock up on lanterns and headlamps. But these things? They vanish once power's gone and people realize they need light that won't kill their battery or blow their OPSEC. Especially if you've got a few that recharge off power banks or solar panels, suddenly they're self-sustaining light sources, and they weigh next to nothing. Your prep move? Buy 4-5. A mix of USB and battery-powered versions. Keep one clipped inside your go bag. Store extras in blackout kits. Test them, know how long they run, how to recharge, and what batteries they need. Pair with rechargeable AAAs or power banks, and you've got a sustainable lighting setup with serious barter clout. Keep a couple sealed in bags for trading because, trust me, when someone's trying to quietly dress a wound in the dark or boil water at 2 a.m. without lighting a fire, and you hand them a reading lamp, you just became their hero. In collapse scenarios, light isn't just about vision, it's about stealth, control, and peace of mind. Clip-on lamps may be small, but they shine exactly where survival happens. Number 9. Silica gel packs. They're the little things you always throw away. Those tiny packets in your shoeboxes, electronics packaging, or vitamin bottles that say, "Do not eat." But when the grid goes down, supply chains freeze, and the environment around you gets dirty, damp, and unstable silica gel packs become preservation gold. These unassuming moisture-absorbing packets can mean the difference between gear that works and gear that's ruined. Ammo? Ruined by humidity. Electronics? Fried by condensation. Medications? Spoiled from damp air. Matches, documents, batteries, anything with metal or powder or paper, it all degrades when exposed to moisture. And when you've got no climate control, everything in your bag or storage bin is vulnerable. Silica gel is like insurance for your preps. It extends shelf life, keeps tools functional, and protects trade goods from turning worthless. Want your vacuum-sealed meds to stay dry for years? Toss in a silica packet. Want your ammo box to stay rust-free? Drop in 2, stashing seeds for post-collapse planting? These packets make them last. The best part? You've already got them around your house and probably never thought twice. But once people realize they can't replace damaged gear or spoiled meds, these things fly in trade. Especially the big ones found in electronics boxes, those are like mini dehumidifiers in a pouch. Your prep move? Start collecting now. Save every packet from every new pair of shoes, bottle of vitamins, or electronics purchase. Store them in a sealed jar or Ziploc. If they start feeling soft or saturated, dry them out in the oven at low temp, 200-degree Fahrenheit for an hour, and reuse. For serious preppers, you can even buy bulk packs online cheap now, priceless later. Organize them by size and function, small ones for ammo cans and med kits, large ones for clothing bins, food storage, or barter packs. And don't forget this, when you're trading sensitive items, ammo, seeds, documents, a prep sealed with a silica gel packet says you knew what you were doing. That's trust. That's the value. And that's exactly what gets you better deals when nobody's trusting anyone. In collapse, it's not just about what you have, it's about how long it lasts. And silica gel? That's shelf life in a pouch. Lightweight, free, forgotten until it saves your whole setup. Number 10. Plastic wrap, cling film. You know that roll of clingy, annoying plastic you wrestle with in the kitchen? The one that sticks to everything but what you want? Yeah, when the world goes sideways, that roll becomes tactical gear. Plastic wrap isn't just for sealing. Leftovers, it's a multi-use survival tool hiding in plain sight. Need to keep food fresh without attracting bugs or contamination? Wrap it. Got a wound you need to cover and don't have sterile dressing? Wrap it. Need a waterproof barrier for gear, clothes, or fire kits? Wrap it. People overlook plastic wrap because it feels flimsy, but in the field it becomes a flexible, disposable, sterile barrier, and that's gold when infection is everywhere and water is rationed. You can wrap wounds to keep dirt out, seal tools from rust, keep kindling dry, and even use it for improvised windows in shelters or broken vehicles. It's see-through, packs small and weighs nothing, but gives you insulation, moisture control, and containment. In a barter scenario, imagine trading a sealed chunk of dry rice or antibiotic ointment wrapped tight in sterile cling film. That's the next level presentation. You look organized, clean, professional. That builds trust fast. And people who are already living dirty, desperate, and disorganized, they'll pay for that kind of clean storage. You can even wrap it over a bleeding wound to apply pressure and shield it from dust until you get proper care. Some medics even use it in cold zones to wrap the torso under clothes to trap body heat. Yeah, survival hacks go deep with this one. Your prep move? Stock 2-3 rolls of high-quality plastic wrap. Avoid the cheap stuff that tears too easy. Go for heavy-duty, restaurant-grade if you can. Store it in your kitchen, medkit, and bug-out bag. Don't unwrap it until you need it. Moisture and dust can wreck the whole roll. Pro tip? Vacuum seal 2-yard lengths folded flat for trade packs or pre-measured use. And when the panic hits and people are stuffing food into old Tupperware and praying it doesn't rot, you'll be wrapping, sealing, storing, and trading like a pro. Plastic wrap doesn't just keep leftovers fresh, it keeps your gear protected, your wounds covered, your food clean, and your trades airtight. It's cheap now, but when systems fail, that roll will be worth more than gold. You just saw 10 everyday items that people overlook every single day, but when everything crashes, they'll be fighting in the streets for this stuff. Not gold, not jewelry, not crypto. This. The cheap, common, useless items you already have in your home are going to be worth more than any shiny rock when it's about staying alive. And if you're still sitting there thinking you've got time, you don't. When the shelves are bare and the lights are out, information is the only edge left, and if you're not subscribed, you're already behind. So don't scroll, don't come back later, don't wait for the next emergency. Smash that subscribe button right now because this isn't entertainment. This is intel. And while everyone else is watching cat videos, you're building the kind of knowledge that saves lives. No fluff, no filler, just straight survival truth. You ready to lead, or are you just planning to follow the crowd when it's too late? Subscribe, lock in, and prep like your life depends on it, because one day, it will.